Is it okay if I grab the stool thing in the bulb instead?
Yeah, you can grab the stool if you want to sit on the
I just
stool.
want it
That's
down.
fine.
Have fun.
Love you.
Love you.
And I love you guys too. All right, well, John's running around trying to go and get a stool figured out. What are you doing? Okay, I got it. It's too bad all that foam padding doesn't add any real muscles. You'd be able to get that stool figured out.
He does the exact opposite.
Oh, the foam muscles make you weaker? You think? Okay.
Well, it does put stuff in the way of what he's normally not having in his leg, so I can kind of see it making him a little bit weaker.
Yes, I can see that too. Let's see. So the first comment of the night was some poor guy getting ready to go to a school dance. Oh, you poor bugger.
Now, school dances are fun.
Yep, I hope you got a confident smile and hope you really don't care whether you go dancing.
Hey, be nice. You like dancing.
Yes, I do like dancing. I have a confident smile. It's the only way I'd end up dancing.
Well, maybe he has a confident smile to dance too.
Oh, okay. All right. So Jesse agrees with me. You need a confident smile if you're going to go to a dance in order to get the ladies. Is that your confident smile? That is not a confident smile. That is an embarrassed, giggling, dumb look. Let's see. Mr. Rowley, man. Glad to see you, dude. I'm glad that you're still kicking. Yes, we're doing fine. I'm finally starting to grow my beard back in after having to shave it off from my my fun experience. Yeah, yeah, explosive learning experience. Um, John, you got to put your face mask on so that they can see every once in a while. Put the not face mask. Oh boy, we've been in COVID way too long. Put your face mask on. Yeah.
Like half of a helmet.
Yeah, put your half of a helmet on long enough for them to see what in the world it is you're dressed up. Currently, right now, you look like you're wearing the Death Star. If you were fatter, you could be the Death Star. That could be your Halloween costume. Yep.
I'll make a round ball and put on you.
Yep. I'm gonna end up chastised by YouTube because I made a fat joke. Anyways.
Excuse me, you're missing something too.
What am I missing?
The bat headband that you said you would wear.
I'm currently a Halloween costume of a boyish figure.
No.
What are you doing?
Thank you, John.
Oh, is that what I'm required to wear?
Yes.
Oh.
You can't wear the white witch's hat, even though it looks adorable on you, so you're stuck wearing this. And I'm gonna go finish my supper. Bye all.
All right. Well, on today's note, I'm apparently whipped. I'm wearing these.
You are a bat.
Are you okay?
Yes.
All right. Hello, all three people. Yeah, well, 2.5. Yeah. We can't rate John too highly. He might decide to take over the channel. Let's see. How's my day been? Doing pretty good. Managed to go and get the junk Lincoln welder chopped up and get it hauled off to the junkyard. The internal generator circuit for that hauled in counted as an electric motor, so that was worth $40 independently. And the really ancient Briggs that was on there was a cast iron block Briggs. So by the time it was all said and done, the thing was worth $62 cashed out at the junkyard. So, yeah, it was a good day. Had to go get John anyway, so I made some gas money plus a little extra. Oh, one interesting side note on that old generator / welder that I tore apart that you guys have been asking me about. it was just plain a lost cause inside. It had had rats get into it. Everything internally was chewed up. The chances of bringing it back to life and having it run safely were just way out in left field. Um, but what I wanted to go and say about that was that when I started to tear into it, I thought it was going to be a copper cash cow. I thoroughly was expecting $3 a pound copper everywhere in it. I was all psyched. Um, and instead of being copper, the only copper winding that was in it was the generator core. Everything else for the 220 transformer, the AC transformer, all of it was all aluminum transformer core. It wasn't worth anything as far as that was concerned. It was all just light iron at that point. So granted, it was heavy. I mean, it was 400 pounds worth of light iron in that one little thing, but it wasn't worth as much as I was hoping it was going to be. But that's life. That's part of scrapping. Sometimes you make junkyard millions, and other times you make junkyard pennies.
Wait, you find pennies in junkyards?
No, I mean, never mind. Let's see. Is it snowing up there yet? John, have we had snow yet?
We've had frost.
You have to speak into the camera.
We've had frost.
No, with your big boy voice.
We've had frost.
There, that's better. You got to project towards the camera.
What
That's
do I have these random things in my legs?
Oh, wait until he's 12.
I don't know.
His voice will go deeper.
All right. So as far as winter goes, we have been really lucky. Whether you're part of the El Nino crowd, whether you're part of the climate change, whether you're part of whatever crowd, the real reality is winters up here in Maine over the course of the last 10 years have gotten way less than what they used to. Back when I first bought this house, it was not uncommon to go and have upwards of 6 to 10 snowstorms that were a good solid 12-inch snowstorm. And nowadays, the last few years, we have, I don't know, I think probably last year, I think we only had 2 storms that were over 12 inches. And the year before that, probably only 2 or 3. I don't think I've actually seen an actual 3-foot nor'easter here in Maine in probably at least like 8 years. Like it's about to be Halloween and there isn't.
We had 4 storms before Halloween.
You what?
2019, we had 4 storms before Halloween because we were in the cabin.
Yep. Yeah, 2019 we had some storms before Halloween. But like I still have grass that I have to mow. Like I'm literally debating mowing grass here in Maine on the weekend of Halloween, which is thoroughly out there as far as what I grew up in. But yeah, I've got the snowblower lawn tractor set up. I've got the regular snowblower all set up, and I've got the GT 6000 plow tractor pushed out front so that I can do a coil on it. I don't know about you guys, but there has been a bumper crop of rats and mice getting into engines this year. Like I've literally found coils that were brand spanking new I had just put in like a month ago that have mice nests in them and chewed up this year. It's been horrible. Let's see here. Let me fix something here. Let's see. There we go. All right, so.
Go back to readers.
Yeah, why do you recognize that one?
The logo.
Okay, so say it louder.
The logo.
No. What did you just tell me?
Cool bag Doritos.
Cool bag of Doritos. There we go.
See?
Yeah, John likes your logo. Although, how in the world you haven't ended up getting a copyright claim against you, I'm not quite sure. But, whatever.
What if you wear it?
Okay. What?
What if you wear it? Would that look good?
Now, that makes me look like, there. Now I look like a meme. I look like one of those Japanese shows where the girls do the singing and they bob their head with the really, really loud, obnoxious noises. Or something like that, Bop, 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 bop. Okay. All right, let's see if we can catch a couple here. Do. Yes, I used to love playing Halo 2. The first one was really good. Second one was okay.
It is from Halo.
Yes, I'm the black paint man. That video I just had to do. It was one of those in the moment videos, like I had to share it, and it's been interesting to see the responses to it. I tell you what, if you get the chance, go back on that video and start reading down through the comments and stuff, because the comments on that video are really interesting, because I'm not the only one apparently to have that happen. There are all kinds of stories in the comment section of different people that had similar things that ended up happening. I also ended up finding out that there are certain types of brake cleaner that if you drop them and they hit exactly on the top upside down, if they're upside down and they hit exactly on the top just right, they'll actually pinhole the whole thing and they shoot off like a rocket.
What?
So could you imagine if you had a torch like lit sitting next to you or near you or something, and you dropped one of those brake cleaner bottles and it hit and it went off like a rocket in front of you? That would be instantaneous poof. No more nothing across the front of you. So that was a little bit of a learning experience that I definitely decided to share. When that thing went off, it actually shot out of my hand. I've still got scars on my hand from it. And it shot out of my hand. It went off right about in my face in this area, and it actually knocked me over and underneath, and all of my glasses on this side was covered in paint. Most of this one was covered in paint.
Oh yeah, I can see it from the side right here.
Yeah, there's still paint on my glasses at this point. And so when I opened my eyes, all I saw was black. Like, it was one of those, well, there we go, I'm dead. End of story. They're going to find me underneath here, killed by a spray paint can, and I'm going to end up on that show 1,000 Ways to Die. It's all over. Not the way I wanted to go out, but whatever. And then slowly I started like blinking my eyes and realizing I was still here with all of you, ready to irritate. Called it good and made the video. So John's mom is actually the one who owns the land that we built the cabin in the woods. So John, the question is, how is the cabin holding up?
The roof got ripped off, so all of the insulation inside it got all ruined. So I had to strip all of the insulation off, and we had to put on a new roof.
Cool. Is the new roof plastic or metal? Or is it is it black tar?
I don't know.
You don't know? You don't look at the roof?
How can I tell by the roof?
Okay.
I can barely see it by climbing up the tall tree.
Oh, okay. So after we were out of the cabin, there was a really, really bad windstorm that came through Maine. And it ended up, I think it was the winter after we had already been out of the cabin. So it was the second winter of the cabin. There was, don't go put it somewhere. So there ended up being a horrific windstorm. It ended up ripping part of the roof up and over, and it didn't get taken care of in a timely fashion. And so everything got rained in on one side of it. But it was able to be saved, and they're still using it, right?
Mhm.
Yep. They're you use it what, every week?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Well, Jeremy says he loves your costume, and that a bunch of people say they're a fan of Halo, but you have no idea what Halo is, do you?
A little bit.
A little bit? Okay, so where did you end up seeing Master Chief?
From Fortnite.
Fortnite. Yep. I had to explain what Halo was to him. I should disown him for that one. Computer Geek son doesn't even know what Halo is. Either that or I'm getting old. Am I getting old, or
No.
are you just a bad Halo child?
No, I saw it.
Talk to the camera.
I saw it from Fortnite. Decided to research it up a little bit, and I found out that just by a punch on the neck, by like someone, it can actually kill someone. Since all the since all the armor on him is about 1,000 pounds, with his spinal cord thermal bulb attached to his helmet, which is set up with his AI. So punching would disconnect the whole entire suit and crush him.
Okay.
With hopes of breaking his neck.
So Fortnite taught you that if you throat punch somebody, you can kill them.
No, Halo. The game.
Halo taught you that?
Yeah.
Amazing. All right. So, anyways, on that parenting moment, now we're gonna get demonetized for talking about Halo throat punching. It's a good thing I don't plan on making any money off of this live stream, because, yeah, I think you've violated it twice now.
I got it from YouTube. So we're okay.
You got that knowledge from YouTube, so it's okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Remember to talk to the camera. Talk to the people. The people need input.
So if it's been to YouTube, then we should be okay.
Yeah, that's not how it works.
Sure?
I'm not sure. Let's see. All right, Jesse's in here stalking you guys, apparently. Let's see.
You can see in person.
Let's see. I'm assuming the name is Odell. Whoa, geez. Apparently Odell had a burp in it. The ginger ale's got burps. Okay, Odell asks, do you sell a lot of mowers? And he's from Virginia. So the answer is cornhole really messed up lawn tractor sales this year. Pre my divorce situation that caused me to end up in the cabin, I was flipping probably about 30 tractors a summer. The first summer of cornhole and everything, I probably flipped about 15 tractors. This summer, the market up here just utterly, it tanked. It absolutely tanked. Our adorable governor has continued to force a mandate protocol up here in Maine which continued to perpetuate people having to stay home, which continued people being really, really, really bloody bored and working on whatever they could get a hold of and tinkering on, which meant that the entire market got flooded with really cheap machines. I haven't given up on flipping lawn tractors. I've had a lot of people ask me that because I publicly declared that I was shutting down lawn tractor repair a month and a half early this year. But part of that was because for the first time in 5 years, the price of iron, scrap metal, finally actually made it to $100 a ton or better. And so it was actually financially worth it for me to scrap out 5 to 6 years worth of accumulated scrap metal. Up here in Maine, for almost the last 4 years or so, the price of light iron has been $60 or less a ton. So I literally was burning more gas to haul a ton of light iron than I was getting. So I totally shut down lawn tractor sales a month and a half early, and I am scrapping out and cleaning and junking out everything that's unnecessary and cleaning the yard up, clear until they finally shut down the yards, which will be in 3 weeks. In 3 weeks, the yards are going to be shut down, and then we'll be back to our regular work around here, YouTube video type production. I'm sorry that I really haven't posted anything major for videos, but at this point, it's go time, and junkyard videos just, I don't know, they're not my thing. I don't find them interesting to do, and so it's hard for me to get motivated and shoot one for you guys. I know a bunch of you take interest in it, but up here in Maine, it's not something that you can really make a living off of, and so yeah, I just don't get into it. Um, I used to years ago. I actually used to go on Junkyard for a profit about 8 or so years ago. I used to junk on the side, and I made a really decent amount of side cash doing it. Upwards of about 5 grand a summer sometimes. And that on the profit side. That's including the cost of gas and, buying a slice of pizza and a coffee every trip. So, yeah, that's where that stands. At this point, I just need to go and make it through junking out as much as I can until I hit the point I'm done, or they close down the yards on me, one or the other. And then we'll be back to building.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, and I've got allergies really bad to the mold and stuff that happens this time of year. So if I start hacking and I sound like I'm about to drop dead, that's normal. I spend about a month like that this time of year. So for me to shoot videos, usually I've got like a whole ton of eucalyptus extract dabbed onto my chest. I'm usually half on a Hall's cough drop, attempting to survive and make you guys a video.
What, Jesse?
Oh, eucalyptus oil. I'm sorry.
Extract is what you use to cook.
Oh, extra. Okay.
Well, that's the one that wants to be in the video.
Yeah. So seriously, if you guys if Vicks works for you and you want to save yourself money, here's what you do. You grab a cotton ball and you grab one of those safety pins and you take that and you clip it right there on the top of your shirt, and you take that and you dab onto it about 3 or 4 times, and that right there will keep you clear and breathing for like 8 hours straight. And one bottle usually lasts me about 2 years worth of usage. So there's your home hack for the day. Let's see.
They could use it in a diffuser too.
Oh, and Jesse just inputted, you can also go and put eucalyptus in a diffuser, which helps also. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, let's see if I can catch up with a couple of things here. You guys have been filling up everything.
And there's only 40 of you.
Do.
39.
Okay, you guys definitely got in here and started pumping up the chat with questions. Do. I had a case of paint explode from being dropped off the back of a truck. Man, so in that video and stuff, I don't remember where the comment was because I also posted it over on Facebook also. So one of the comments that I got is, picture this scenario. You are in your pickup truck. You are driving full tilt down a highway in your pickup truck. And at some point, you apparently had put expanding spray foam canister on your dashboard underneath your windshield, and it explodes while driving. Can you even remotely think about how that would go? That's like something out of a movie. That would be awesome. That would be like the greatest little James Bondy whatever type thing, would be building a spray foam canister poof bomb thing that goes off and all of a sudden encompasses the person and makes it so that they stay there. That'd be awesome.
Hit the brakes and once you feel it stop, open the door and run.
All right.
And try to take as much of it off as possible.
Well, thanks. I'm glad to see that you guys are having a conversation with Jesse in the comment section about whether I'm careful or not. Hi.
Be very careful. What?
All right, let's see. Andrew Cross says, I did like you and I fixed a roper. Now I'm selling it for $400. Awesome. I've got the custom I'm going to build into the ice racer, and then John and I have a Suburban that we stashed years ago that who knows what kind of condition it's in at this point. It's been stashed on the side of the property for, I don't know, I think probably since John was about 2 years old.
The one that's the one that's next to Big Baby. Well, not Big Baby. Papa Smurf.
Yeah, there's one over in that area. So over where the pickup trucks are, there's a Suburban in there, and it is so rusted at this point that it looks like all of the dead leaves that are covering it at this point. So I'm not quite sure whether it's recoverable, but we might have to take a look at that.
I will get to keep it.
Let's see. Is the Mudmower hobby still going? I don't see as much about it on Facebook anymore. Yeah, actually, the Mudmower thing has been growing. So I moved all of the Mudmower stuff over onto my second channel, RCG Racing. The reason for that is because I needed to split the channel. There's lawn tractor drag racing that we do now. There's lawn tractor ice racing that we do now. We do the mud mower stuff over on RCG Racing. And the other thing is there's a go-kart track that's about an hour north of us, and there is potentially going to be circle track lawn tractor racing that potentially is going to come into a place called Unity, Maine, that's probably about half an hour drive away from us. It's a little bit further drive to Unity than it is for where we go for the drag racing and for the ice racing, but it's within striking distance of my house without too much issue. So because of that, and that at some point I would like to be able to go and get into doing some sort of mud truck on the smaller side, nothing big gigantor, no mega truck type stuff. Well, not yet anyway. But I would love to go and get into something like a Cherokee mud truck or a Toyota or something on the smaller side that I could haul with the Van Hollen build. So I'd like to go and be able to get into that at some point. So I split the channel. So Redneck Computer Geek channel is still my home life, the lawn tractor repair, stuff like that. RCG Racing is the mud mower, the racing, obviously, and stuff like that. So the sports-ish type stuff is over there. The family home lawn tractor repair and how-to videos are here. I mix and match a little bit of the lawn tractor repair videos, depending on which channel I think that they mesh with better. But what I'm planning to do in the future is probably create like a race dedicated wiring harness how-to video versus a mowing lawn tractor wiring how-to video. Like that kind of split, because there's enough difference there that it's worth making the two. Let's see. Do you know enough about diesel engines to help me diagnose what I think to be a minor problem if I described it to you? To be quite honest, I am not a diesel person. I actually had a friend of mine who is a generator technician, along with another friend of mine who works on skid steers and some other diesel stuff, both helping me in the background in order to be able to get Diesel Eater back up and running and revive that engine to be able to go and do what I did. I've said it time and time again. That diesel engine I got for Diesel Eater was my first ever diesel engine. I plan to expand, if I can, further into that stuff, but I don't have a background in it, and so I'm not the right guy for that. What's the question? Projection.
You want to show them or
Show what?
the thing?
The thing?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah.
The thing?
The thing.
This?
Yeah.
Okay. You
Yeah.
can. So John built this for an up and coming video working on his rig.
The inside of it is hollow. This centerpiece over here. So if you really want to, you could open up and put a motor in it.
All right, and we're gonna make them wait for the video to know what else goes with it.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so John wanted to show you his Lego creation there. He's quite the Lego-y fanatic.
I think there's another thing that I don't.
I just got my learner's permit. Good job, cool bag of Doritos. Now, in the state that you live in, do you have to log like a bunch of hours and stuff? Here in the state of Maine, you have to like legally log about, I think it's 300 hours or something worth of driving before you're allowed to go for your permit. It's quite a decent amount that you have to log in order to be able to go for it. All right. Talk to the camera and you can show them while I read down through the comments a bit.
I'm building a
Hold it up more. No, up.
There you go.
is that good, Jesse?
Yes, good.
I'm building a mech type thing with a person that connects into it. It's a little boring, but I might have the person sit inside a mech design with a hinge. Is that good?
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Victor says, how's the van coming? So the van runs and drives. It's got some squishiness in the brakes that needs to be resolved. I need to get my scrap out done. And then as soon as my scrap out is done, I will be pulling in. If you're new to the channel or you've never been around the channel during my setup for winter, basically what I do is I gut the entire bay of my garage out on one side so that I can fit 3 to 4 stored projects in there. And so I'm going to get all the projects stored in. Then I'm going to bring the van in underneath the tent. And me, Jesse, and John are getting moved out of the apartment and into the primary house, because the moment we're out of the apartment, I can close off the tent in order to have the area to work on the van. So my goal is for us to be working on that on the channel through the winter as part of the stuff. So we'll have John's build. We'll have John's build. We'll have a rework of the John Deere Ice Racer. We've got 2 other ice racing projects that we're going to be working on. There's potentially a diesel project, depending on how far we get with the ice racing work. And then the Van Hollen project, and then whatever else I happen to go and get figured out. Because as soon as we're out of this apartment and everything is out of here that needs to be and stuff like that, what is currently mine and Jesse's bedroom is going to get set up as a transmission shop for me so that I can be able to start doing dedicated how-to videos on an actual disassembly bench for you guys and be able to have a background that is not random flyby stuff in the background and things like that. The other thing that I've had a lot of people request, and I've tried to work on a few times over the years, but I haven't had a dedicated area to work on it, is being able to have a green screen behind me and throw up a diagram of, say, an MST 206 transmission and be able to do the weatherman thing and talk about the diagram and point stuff out. If I can get to that point, it would really up my game as far as the how-to videos on Redneck Computer Geek are concerned. And that's the next step that I really need in order to evolve the channel. I'm trying, at this point, the ratio of new product versus junkyard builds on the channels is about probably 10% new stuff and about 90 to 80% slush area there of junkyard build. And my goal is to transition Redneck Computer Geek into being a bit more of a 50-50 channel. I want to be 50% new stuff coming in, bigger, better tools, milling capability, stuff like that. And then still maintaining that junkyard old school mentality also. Kind of like Dirt Every Day type stuff. If you've ever watched them, you know, it's kind of about 50-50. Some of it is let's pull this from the junkyard and build something. Some of it is, hey, let's rip out this old motor and let's put in this really nice new setup. That's what I want to get to over the course of the next year or two. Unfortunately, that's the way YouTube is pushing in order to survive in the YouTube climate. And so I need to get to that point. But we'll keep the down home, you know, good old boy mentality. We're just going to bring in some new stuff. You feel better?
I'm asking you.
Hey, wait, put it back on. No answer. Still nobody home.
I'm home.
Couldn't resist bad dad jokes. Let's see.
I got a mess for you.
No, I'm not wearing the mask. Let's see.
Up? I know the pages.
Hey, honey, Lauren says he has a really good idea for you for Halloween costume.
Yeah, leprechaun.
Yeah, you should be a leprechaun.
Yeah, no.
When you have leprechaun?
I don't like my height as it is. And I cannot fit in a Barbie Jeep, so he do that.
Let's see. Happy Halloween, and what do you think you will be fixing next year? The big giant Cub Cadet that you guys were very interested in, I did manage to get the rear end torn out of the junker one. So I've got that machine stashed. That'll be one of our early things that we're going to work on in the spring. A lot of people have actually gotten a hold of me about rebuilding those decks. There seems to be some discrepancies about whether the spindles on those are rebuildable or not. And there also seems to be some idiosyncrasies about the idler pulleys that are on those between a couple of different models and sizes. So I'd like to be able to do the background information and see if I can find out what's going on with those arguments. And that way we can do a full coverage how-to on that. Those shaft drive Cub Cadets are showing up here in Maine like the plague. They are showing up everywhere. If I wanted to, I could probably buy a shaft drive Cub Cadet of that series probably every 2 weeks easily for $150, $200. So I want to get into doing some how-to videos on that machine. I want to see whether those how-to videos are actually profitable. Because like the Craftsman videos are always profitable. But Cub Cadet videos in the past have always shot me in the foot. And they take a lot more time to do. Those Cub Cadets with the shaft drive are way more complicated than most other tractors, which means that a video that would normally take me an hour and a half or so to film, edit, post, and do the hyperlinks on a Craftsman turns into like a 3.5 hour ordeal to do on most of those shaft drive Cub Cadets. And so, I mean, just pulling the transmission out of that shaft drive unit, it took me almost, I would say it took me a good 2 hours to get that transmission out. And that doesn't even count the extra time that was added in me attempting to go and film information for you guys to be able to pull it out. And when you consider that I can get an MST 206 out of your average Murray or Craftsman or anything of that nature, I can get that ripped out in probably 15 minutes at the most, as long as the tools are ready. That's a big difference. 2 hours versus 15 minutes is a huge difference in time and requirement in order to figure it out. Like, I've never seen a transmission that requires you to drop the deck to get out of the machine. And on that Cub Cadet shaft drive, I wouldn't say that it was required, but you pretty much cannot manage to go and get to the front of that transmission without dropping the entire stupid deck out of the machine. I've got a GT 5000 that needs to go and have the deck entirely rebuilt. So we'll probably be doing that in the spring. I've got another of the smaller shaft drives that's got a Kohler in it that is dieseling hardcore. So we will probably take a look at that in the spring. I've got a newer Craftsman that we never got a chance to take a look at because I couldn't find the correct motor to put in it. As you guys have heard me say in the past, I absolutely totally hate and can't stand the 19 horsepower, 20 horsepower, and 21 horsepower single cylinder Briggs with AVS in it. They always explode. They always end up as just metal maracas, and I hate them with a passion. And if I wanted to, I could have, if I wanted to, and I was after Tough Torque 46B transmissions all summer, I could have bought probably 8 of those machines with blown up Briggs and Stratton singles in them. And that's the problem. The problem, and I've talked about it many times in the past, is that to be able to go and sell the machine and get the most money out of it, yes, the screen glitched. It's okay. It wasn't the mask. You're okay.
I got so confused since I saw the bottom half went side to side.
Yeah. My poor old Acer 19-inch screen is showing its age. So we get a glitch every once in a while on the screen, and hopefully it'll hold together tonight. Although considering spray paint cans, you never know. It might just explode. But anyways, in order to get the most money out of a machine, you got to put in the same exact motor that was in it so that people can be able to be stupid yet smart enough to look up parts for it in order for them to fix themselves. Otherwise, it immediately turns it into a junkyard hodgepodge machine, and people just won't pay what they're worth. At this point, I've given up on putting a single back into that machine. So what we'll probably do is we'll probably turn that into a how-to conversion build, because I get a lot of people that ask me about taking out the Briggs single and putting in a Briggs V-twin. That's a really common upgrade in the mud mower community, and I get a lot of questions about it in the lawn tractor community for cutting grass. So I think what we're going to do is retool that machine and then use it here on the property and go from there. Or I might sell it off to somebody that actually has brain cells enough to fix something. I don't know. I've got too many machines right now, so I need to sell down on projects. With the dragsters, I'm really actually debating selling my red Big Mod off. But I don't know. A lot of you guys are really rooting for the poor little 801 that's in that thing, so I haven't decided yet. A lot of people want me to run it and see how long it'll hold up to that big giant Kohler with the 801 versus the guys that are racing 820s and they're blowing them up right and left. So I don't know. I mean, watching them race Big Mod this year, they had, I think, 6 different, they had 6 different 820s that blew up this year running Big Mod. So the 801 holding together when everybody thought it was just going to go and explode the very first race, running at 6,000 RPMs with that giant Kohler, I kind of actually want to push it and see what it actually ends up doing in the end.
And who this belongs to?
Well, what belongs to?
From Star Wars characters.
Oh, I don't know.
You know?
I don't know.
Does anybody
Although I do know that the noise from Star Wars is copyrighted, so don't play it more than 30 seconds or we might end up with a copyright violation. You're just out to go and ruin my finances tonight. That's all it is. You just want to ruin it.
How is the boom boom boom?
Oh, if it's blue, it's Obi-Wan. Okay, we got Jesse yelling in the background. I don't know if you guys can hear.
How is the boom 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 copyrighted? That's just the sound of the Star Wars lightsaber.
Because they created the noise. It can't be used without authorization.
Darn it.
Yeah, Lauren says he's waiting for me to work on the Monty. I tell you what, Lauren, if I could get a chance to work on it, I would. It's just this year has all been about survival. I talk openly with you guys a lot about what it is I do or I do not make on YouTube. And this cornhole thing, it literally killed a third of my income solid. And it dropped my lawn tractor flipping from 30 machines a year down to, I think I only did 12 this year because it just wasn't worth it. It was literally better off for me to haul scrap metal and go work on dump trucks with my friend Mark and skid steers and do the racing videos. Like, it was more profitable for me to do racing videos than it was for me to go and flip lawn tractors. And if you had told me that was going to be the case like 4 or 5 years or so ago, I would have called hogwash. The real reality is, as everybody starts going back to work, I expect the lawn tractor racing videos to dump back off like they always have on YouTube. There are a ton, absolute ton. I don't care whether it's a metric ton or an English ton or whether it's a poop ton. There are a ton of dead YouTube channels based on lawn tractor racing. And it's because when people get bored, they watch lawn tractor racing. When they're stuck home, they watch lawn tractor racing. When the economy is good, nobody cares about watching lawn tractor racing on YouTube. And so the channels die because you make like 20 cents per 1,000 views on lawn tractor racing most of the time on YouTube. There's no advertisement that normally cares. Whatever is going on because of COVID and cornhole and all that, for some reason has changed that right now, so it's profitable, but I don't expect it to stay that way. What's up?
You remember the thing?
Talk to them.
Do you know the Frankenstein bird? Do you remember how we had to screw in the thing in its bone thing?
So, yeah, John wants to show you we had to I can't word that correctly. We had to screw in the butt of his bird there.
You see a little bit sticking out right there.
Yeah, we fixed it and it sticks out a little bit. Okay. There's yeah.
If you weren't mean to the bird, it wouldn't have had to happen.
It was fragile.
Well, don't be mean to it. Can one of you feed the cat?
Be quiet.
John, for the sake of video and not having meowing in the background, can you feed the stupid cat?
Yes.
There we go.
Thank you.
Cool bag of Doritos for his driving has to log 145 hours. Well, that's not bad. 145 hours is doable in a reasonable amount of time.
How many nighttime hours?
Jesse wants to know whether you have a required amount of nighttime hours. Here in the state of Maine, you're required like 50 nighttime hours out of the 300. Just out of curiosity. Lauren says he's going to make his wife a motorized horse out of wood.
Yes, and he's gonna get you the patterns.
That's actually a pretty cool idea.
I want to see it happen.
You want to see it happen?
Yeah.
You know, that actually would be really funny as a pit car. I mean, as a pit scooter. Make a mobility scooter wooden horse to ride around in the pits when you're at an event or something. That's a good idea. I like that. That'd be funny as all get out. And I've got the spare mobility scooter rear end to build that right now, actually. Actually, I've got 2 spares.
So he's going to make a one of those giant horses from the Greeks, where they drove it in and they took it in, and as a
No, I don't think he means for it to look
Dang
like a
bobbin.
Trojan horse. I think he means for it to look like a rocking pony type horse.
what if you had like
Talk to the camera.
what if you had like a base on it with some like a hinge so it goes rocks and back and forth while it drives.
You know what would be funny? I'm not quite sure how well it would work, but you know what would be funny would be to take a rocking horse and make it so that you had forward and reverse triggers, so that when you were on it and you rock it forward, it goes forward, and then when you rock it back, it goes in reverse. And then you could no, because you couldn't steer, because then, well, unless you made it so the steering rod came straight up through and was solid all the way down.
Or you could use the hinges to make it go spin, spin, spin.
Oh yeah, those hinges. But yeah, you'd have to have the steering somehow so that you could rock, and then when you rock forward, it goes forward, and when you rock back, it goes in reverse, and then would have like a natural settling point for neutral.
I have an idea. If you put pedals at on the sides,
Yeah.
which are attached to power wheel motors, so then when you rock forward, the pedals get smushed with the ground.
Yep.
So it wants it to go.
Yep. Yeah, you'd have to make it so it naturally wanted to stay centered, though. You'd have to put like a spring on each end.
I was thinking making it a little flat in one area.
Oh, make it slightly flat so it naturally comes to a 0 point.
And then have like a stop switch.
Yep, that's a good idea.
Then if you can't do it, you just go slap.
Yep.
And then you level it out in that flat area.
Yep.
Since it'll be off, and then you flip it back up, and you boom, boom, boom.
It's a good idea. So for anybody who has ever like wondered whether I'm speaking the truth when I say that a lot of my ideas come from trying to make John's discussions into a reality, that would be an example. So we went from a general concept to some sort of brainstorm here, and now we need Lauren to build it because I don't have a wooden horse.
Is it okay if I grab a soda?
Yep, go ahead. All right, so Illusion X. He's got a hydro and a Craftsman. What maintenance should I do, if any? Find out exactly what type of oil it uses. Do your background research. And the one thing I will warn anybody is that the recommended oil by Craftsman, by Cub Cadet, by whatever, is sometimes not what the manufacturer of the actual transmission recommends. What I've discovered in the past is that Craftsman especially likes to do a blanket, it's a hydro, it takes this. Be very careful, always do your research, make sure you know exactly what type of oil it takes. And the other thing is the the manufacturer of the transmission hour rating for transmission use for the lifetime of your hydro oil is very different than what Craftsman usually recommends. Especially smaller transmissions. Ironically, the ones that get treated the worst are the ones that usually have the lowest number of actual runtime hour ratings. And that's the one thing that I've pointed out many times. Those 314 transmissions that I was building the hydro dragsters out of, those transmissions, if you go by Craftsman's ratings, they're rated for 100 hours as far as Craftsman is concerned. If you go by Cub Cadet's ratings, they're rated for 150 hours before an oil change. If you go by Hydro Gear's own rating, they're rated for 50 to 75 hours of use before an oil change. The moronicy of that entire statement is that the only way to drain that transmission is literally to rip it out of the tractor. So do your research. Never go by what Craftsman, Cub Cadet, Husqvarna, whatever they say. Find your actual transmission model number, look it up on their website, find its real actual stats. Oh, the other thing that I've had happen also with Tough Torques is that there are certain Tough Torques that the fluid rating is actually like 1.6 quarts or something like that. And Husqvarna and Craftsman will list them as being 2-quart transmissions. Obviously, if you're filling the stupid thing up and it no longer will take any more fluid, then it's full. But that's just another example of why it is go to the transmissions website and look it up. Don't go by what the tractor sale says.
Wait, so there's also a pulley website? So there's transmission and pulley website and exhaust website?
Not for lawn tractors, there's not an exhaust website, but most transmission manufacturers usually have some. Let's see. What do you think about older Airings tractors? I like older tractors. The problem is there's no money in older tractors, and so I tend to avoid them. I do have an older tractor that I would like to go and get a chance to do a resto mod on. It's just, unfortunately, resto mods and all of that kind of stuff right now on YouTube are just not worth anything. And it's been a survival year. So I'm hoping we can get to it next year. It's been on the to-do list now for a year and a half. And we're actually cleaning out the area to get to it in the next week or so. So hopefully we can have it able to get to in the spring and work on it.
Along with more of the house stuff.
Yeah, along with a lot more house stuff. And I mean, moving into the house, unfortunately, with the skyrocketing price of wood and sheetrock and everything else. Plywood. Plywood in the state of Maine right now is 4 times the cost it was before cornhole hit. Let's see. Hi. Would you like to talk to the people? What do you think of your current? What do you think of the cub crawler build? What do we need to do next on the cub crawler?
Put electrical.
All right, so we need to do electrical. So I still think we should put the battery in the rear in order to give it more weight. Because after watching you on Bouncy, like the number one reason you got stuck was that you just did not have enough rear weight to get traction. I think that's something we definitely need to change.
We can put weights in the back.
Well, yeah, we could put weight in the back. Excuse me.
Actual weights.
Well, yeah, we could put actual weights in the back, but if we have to have a 50-pound battery, we might as well have the 50-pound battery where it's going to do some good. And then we got to build your front end so that you can have the we have a snowplow to go on his rig. That's part of the reason why it is.
And winch.
Yeah, we have a winch and we have a snowplow in order to go on to his rig so that he'll be able to help me with cleaning off the he'll be able to help me with cleaning off the pond so that we can have a testing area for the ice racing. So
You don't want to do it by hand again.
no, I don't want to be down there with a snowblower again. That sucked. Last year having to go, I tell you what, using a snowblower in order to do your using a snowblower in order to go and do a third of a mile long driveway, I will openly take over having to go and use that snowblower in order to clean the ice off on the pond. It sucked. It was horrible. And so we're going to go and put a plow on John's rig so that if he's here and it snowed, he can help me with that.
And I'm bored.
And he's bored or whatever. We're also rerouting the way that we get onto the pond so that part of the problem with getting down onto the pond is that coming up out of the pond, even with tire chains on, wow, that was a weird camera effect. Coming out of the pond, even with tire chains on and rear weight, I couldn't quite get enough traction on the hill coming up out. So, yeah, so Jesse actually had to come down and push me out of there a couple of times. So what we're going to do is in the center of the pond where the little peninsula area comes down into it, next to the driveway, I'm going to cut an entrance through the bushes in at that point, which means that if I get the tractor stuck, I'll be able to come down through with the truck and use the side of the truck as a winching point to be able to get the plow tractor up out of there.
Or we can use my rig.
Or we can use John's rig to pull me out. Yeah, he's looking forward to having his rig in order to play with. And we got a little bit more of we've got a little bit more of the testing trail cut out. And we still need to focus on the area down next to the pond to get that recut.
The testing area is really fun.
Yeah, John likes the testing area. He goes out there with whatever he can get a hold of now.
I went through with 3 machines. The rock crawler machine, when it wasn't all torn apart, and also bouncer. Excuse me.
He's on YouTube.
Let me see. Yes, Lauren, send me some plans. I'll take a look at it. I seriously would try that. That'd be an awesome rig for running around on in the pits and stuff. Because the way my trailer is set up, I could probably actually put one up next to where Diesel Eater sits on the trailer. So yeah, send me some plans. I'd love to go and take a look at that idea. Let me see. For the horse thing.
Oh, I got so confused.
I'm glad you caught up and could join the race.
Me?
Bad dad joke. Bad dad joke. Number 2.
Moving on.
All right, let's see. Hey, you're shaking the whole place.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be glad to go and be living someplace that doesn't shake every time you walk across. This area was never intended to be a living area. It was supposed to be just storage. And so the floor here it's 1/2-inch plywood with a little bit of 1/4-inch luan over the top of it. Spaced out at about 24 inches in between 2x6s. And a little bit of rug. So the whole place shakes and rocks and stuff if you're not careful. Let's see. Freedom Mowers. I've learned a lot from your channel over the last few years. Finally started my own. So thank you for the hard work you put in. So Freedom Mowers, I'm going to say this for you, and I'm going to say it for anybody else that starts a channel that's similar to mine. Okay? I do not mind. I do not mind. In fact, I encourage it that if you want to do what I do for the tractor hunts and label it tractor hunt, and then whatever the model of the tractor is or the information, LT 2000 Craftsman, blah, 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 just use a different color for your what it cost you or whatever. I constantly use the red. It's my signature color. But use a different color or whatever. I don't care if you copy that, if you clone it, if you whatever, because the more that the search term tractor hunting grows, the more the community grows. Tractor hunting is actually one of the #1 search terms on my channel at this point.
You're welcome.
And it's worth the tractor hunting term during the summertime gets me almost, I think it's about 800 to 1,400 hits a month on my channel. So if you want to do something like what I do in the tractor hunts, I thoroughly endorse anybody who wants to do a video of similar nature to that to do it. Just like Roadkill did. One of the big ways that people don't understand about Roadkill was that they actually encouraged people during the growth of Roadkill to actually use the search term Roadkill in making their own videos. And the reason being is because it worked the YouTube algorithm into Roadkill's favor. So, ironically, helping you helps me if the search term continues to grow. Just a little bit of YouTube, magic to pass on there for everybody. So feel free, if you have the ability to do videos like I did doing that, even if it's just a work through video. I went tractor hunting. This is what I paid for the tractor. This is what I think is wrong. This is what I fixed. It doesn't even have to be as how-to-ish as mine are. Growing the term will actually help the community. Let's see. Oh, cough drop. That's brilliant. See, I have cough drops right here. Jesse yelling in the background, cough drop. I mean, maybe I should have a cough drop that I put on my desk so I would have cough drops. There, maybe I'll stop coughing with my cough drop that's been on my desk for the last 5 coughs.
And you roasted one in the video.
Yep, there we go. Let's see. what is my opinion on toucans? On a toucan?
What's a
It's a
toucan?
bird.
Well, I know what a toucan bird is. I don't know. What in the world would a guy from Maine who deals with bald eagles and stuff have to know something about a toucan?
What's a
Okay.
toucan?
They're
Like
pretty and have
toucans?
big beaks.
Jesse says they're pretty and they have big beaks.
Are they like itty bitty and then have those gigantic beaks?
Yeah, the toucan Sam guy that's on the cereal commercials.
Yeah,
Fruit Loops?
and they can't kiss.
What? Oh,
Their beaks back each other.
whack.
It's funny.
So Victor says older is better, but when you sell mowers like I do, the problem is people only want nice shiny things and don't want older things because they think they're not reliable. Yes. And the other thing is, and I have told people a million times over, is I don't care where you have to stash hoods. Never, ever, 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 ever sell hoods unless you need the money at the time to survive. Having a hood on a machine instantaneously makes it worth $100 to $200 more. I don't care if that machine is 5 years old or whether it's 15 years old. If it has no hood, everybody will treat you as if it is a piece of junk. I literally don't care how perfect a machine mows. If it doesn't have a hood on it, I will not even bother to try and sell it because the Facebook Marketplace messages that you will get will cause you to just have a meltdown and rip your hair out.
For rude people.
Always save hoods. I don't care how junky the hood is. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what condition that hood is. Always save hoods. Even if it's got a giant crack down the side of it, if you put it on a running machine that mows perfect, somebody will pay full decent price for that machine, and they will sit there the entire time going, "Oh, I bet I can fix that hood. Oh yeah, I watched that YouTube video of that stupid guy with the propane torch and the zip ties. You know that guy Redneck Computer Geek and he does those really stupid junky how-to videos? I bet I can do that too. I'll buy that tractor." I've literally had that happen. That is a true story.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Those Husqvarna hoods, the Husqvarna hoods with the smashed out front ends, I have literally had people decide to go and come and buy those and tell me that they're going to use that stupid YouTube how-to video to fix it.
That you
Whatever
made?
works. Yeah, the one that I made about using the blowtorch.
And the plastic.
Oh, oh.
Ooh,
Look
ooh.
what I just got a hold of.
You're not supposed to make that noise.
This is what I just got.
What is that? What is that?
It is a tire doctor.
Oh.
I don't really want to admit what I paid for this, but the amount of benzo tanks that I have burnt through cutting tire tread in the last probably 2 years, this thing will pay for in one season.
That's good.
So it was a little bit painful to stomach the price of $65.
Wait, 65? I thought it was going to be like 90.
But when you consider that last lawn tractor season and drag racing and ice racing season, I burnt through 2 chisels and 2 cans of benzo. This thing will pay for itself in one season. So these are available on Amazon. I'm going to do a how-to with this for the ice racers setup when we do the Suburban. So you guys will see it then. But if you're looking for them, They're on Amazon. I'll be doing a video with it probably in the next month and a half or so. Mud and pulling season are over, so I'm not worried really about getting a how-to video up on it. If I had bought it late spring, I'd be going at it to get a video done with it. The other thing that these are good for, which is the other reason why I bought it, is you can use it to recut. So I'll see if I can show it here. Right there. So right there. So when you have your stud, when you have your track, your tread and your stud, and this starts to get worn so it's at an angle, you can use it to recut it so it's square so that you get better grip for the rest of the life of that tread. And that's the other reason why I bought it, is being able to re-grip tires. My bear claws are hitting that point. They need to go and be re-gripped. And I've got John's machine, that the set of tires that's on there, I can recut at least once. And I've got I've got two sets of ATV tires for used ATV tires for ice racing season, and both of them need to be recut. So yes, $65 is a lot to spend on what essentially is just a glorified soldering iron. But like, look at this thing. This is a regular size soldering iron. That's that. I mean, beefcake. That's what you're paying for, is the fact that it's that big and that capable. And now the girlfriend is chiming in about whether size matters or not. She's on my side that size matters. I lucked out on that conversation. All right, let's see. John is a pretty smart kid. Most days. John is an idiot savant like me. So he's either really, really brilliant about something, or the conversations with The Rock are interesting. And that's nothing against John. I'm exactly the same way. I have a really hard time with English, but yet I can sit there and do most basic geometry in my head without writing it down. Like calculating exact angles and stuff for cuts and things like that. Playing pool. I can calculate angles on a pool table really quickly, unlike most people.
I'm good at math.
John is top of his class in math, working a year ahead of most kids, but couldn't read the comment section if he had to right now. He's working on getting his English caught up, but that's just part of, how we are. Very mechanically inclined, just like I am, but not very good at conversation.
Since you saw about the rocking horse.
Yeah.
Or technically heard?
Yes, they would have heard us discuss the rocking horse. Did you really just fart on video?
That was super loud.
Okay. Burps are one thing, farts are another. Excuse yourself and go fart in the other room next time. Okay, well,
Manners, John.
on that note,
Excuse me.
I'm going to try and read the last one or two comments here and stuff, and we're probably going to call it good in the next 5 minutes or so. After about an hour, I start to lose my voice, and I've been fighting with allergies pretty regularly the last 3 weeks. So, I'm going to probably call it good in about 5 minutes, just to give everybody a heads up. But we'll see what the one or two last things here are. see. People just want cosmetics when you're selling and flipping. Yes. And the other thing about selling and flipping lawn tractors is they want ease of use. Everybody around me hates those stupid Toro Broncos with the Vari-Drive system. But if you know what you're doing, you've got it figured out on those. You can buy the belt kit that I have listed in the video on how to do that. You can buy both belts combined in a kit for $36. And if you know what you're doing and you have the tools already set up and the patience, especially if you have somebody that's willing to reach in and pull the idler for you with a piece of rope or a hook or something, if you have somebody willing to help you with that one little part that's hard to do, and I actually show how to do that by yourself in the video also, but if somebody's willing to help you with that, you can swap the entire belt system on one of those with deck still installed in about half an hour, 45 minutes at the most. Maybe an hour and a half your first time doing it. But if you're at all mechanically inclined, after about the third one of those, and with somebody reaching in to do that one idler pulley, you can do it in a half an hour easy. You can do it even faster. Well, I'll leave that for other videos. Sometimes tips and tricks and stuff like that, you got to leave for that one video so people go back to it. Yet another one of those YouTuber in training type things. Never give away every single trick of the trade in that one video. Always leave a couple you can sprinkle in as you go. Makes you not look as stupid. But really, I'm just dumb. There's a hole in your belly.
Holy shit.
All right.
Are you talking about my belly button?
No, you had a hole in your shirt.
Oh.
Let's see.
Stop playing with your belly button.
Let's
Make the
see.
hole bigger.
Let's see. I pretty much am starting off with push mowers. But I've gotten a few riders. Push mowers is a good one to go and get into. As much as I really hate to go and see him go, the top push mower YouTuber actually this summer, the beginning of this summer, he actually announced that he was quitting YouTube. He openly stated that it's not that he has a problem with YouTube, and it's not that he's lost money due to cornhole or whatever. It's that he has another business offer that actually will make him more than he does on YouTube. And when you consider his stats, I mean, the dude was actually making more than me by at least times two, I'm betting, if you consider the way the stats look. So there's actually an area for push mowers on YouTube. And the primary best YouTuber and largest YouTube channel for that niche actually just quit. So keep that in mind. You've potentially got a place to grow there. Here in Maine, we don't see push mowers until they are one pull away from going to the junkyard. You buy a push mower brand spanking new, you use a push mower, you abuse a push mower, and then you put it on the side of the road for free and call it good. Here in the state of Maine, it is brutal on push mowers. Our yards are always bumpy because of the frost and everything else. There is no such thing as a perfectly flat yard in the state of Maine. If you ever see anybody in the state of Maine that claims that they have a perfectly manicured flat yard or something, they either have a wallet that is the size of Texas in order to pay for it to get re-leveled every year perfectly, or they're lying. There's only two ways that happens. Let's see. Hunter asks, is the input tapered? on a Sears Suburban transmission on a 633A? The answer to your question is break it down and find out. There's actually 3 different styles of input. Actually, there's technically a 4th, but as far as commonality is concerned, there's 3 different styles of input on the 633 Roper, and it depends on which one they were using at the time. The 633 Roper from the Suburbans all the way until the 2012, I think it is, GT 5000 with a 6-speed are all interchangeable. The difference is in the newer machines, they have disc brakes, and you can actually convert, theoretically, the disc brake system to the older band brake system in order to fit it in a Suburban. So take it out and find out, unfortunately. Let's see. A bunch of discussion about LT1000s being awesome and easy to work on. Totally agree. No questions asked. LT1000's definitely one of the easiest and fastest and most readily available machines to work on. They're starting to get more rare here in Maine, which is why it is you guys have noticed in the last 2 or 3 years, I've started switching over to Poolin Pros. But that's because the Poolin Pro series with the really big yellow print is essentially just a glorified LT1000. And so that's why I've switched over to targeting those up here in Maine. Let's see. What is the best cheap mower to make a mud mower out of? Okay, so on YouTube, type in a search for Maine as in the state, mud mower, all the tricks of the trade. It's a video that I made many years ago on an LT1000 that I built. It's the one that ended up making me one of the primary channels on YouTube for the mud mower stuff. That video has everything pretty much you could ever do for pre-adding suspension upgrades on an LT1000 frame. Without question, the LT1000 is the easiest mud mower frame to build. There's a couple of newer frames that have come into the market that I'm actually looking at potentially getting into in order to test and see what we can do. But hands down, as far as a junkyard, I can find it dead in somebody's backyard machine to build. The LT1000 series is without question the easiest to build. Literally, if you can find an LT1000 that still has the deck on it, the pulleys you need in order to do your pulley swap in order to go 20 miles per hour are all there. If you flip the engine pulley over and weld it to the top and you put a deck pulley on your transmission, you can go 20 miles per hour on an LT1000 pretty much right there with all the parts provided. And then you use the deck pulleys, the idlers, in order to go and help with the alignment of your deck, of your drive belt if you need to, and you're done. So there's my little bit towards that. And an LT1000 done that way is usually an 89-inch belt, or yeah, it's a 92 or a 93-inch belt. Sorry, my apologies. If you use a 5-inch rear pulley and you use the front flip method, it is almost always a 93-inch belt in order to get those up and running. All right, let's see. Aye. Well, I guess in that case we're gonna call it good and call it a night. Um, John, do you have any closing statements? You got to take the mask off and talk at the camera.
Bye.
Well, on today's episode of showing John's idiot savant side, bye. Because why wouldn't you?
Have a good Halloween.
Jessie says have a good Halloween. I don't think you can hear her in the other room.
Have a good Halloween, which is in like 2 days.
Yes, happy Halloween in 2 days. We hope everybody goes haunting and trick-or-treating. And I don't know what else you want to go and do.
And grab as much candy as possible.
Get as much candy as possible while looking as stupid as possible. You know, whatever your goal in Halloweening is. All right. Everybody have fun. Oh, and to the person who started off my chat tonight with going out dancing, I hope that you had a confident smile. I hope you managed to go and get a couple of girls to dance with you. Jesse's hauling me out dancing tomorrow night.
Oh, that's where we're going.
So, no, you're going to go to the babysitter. I'm apparently going to go dancing so that I can look like an idiot because I dance like a giraffe that is on roller skates. Hopefully the pool table is going to be there in order to save me some. And, yeah, so everybody have fun, stay out of trouble, and bye-bye.
Bye.
Jesse, yell bye-bye.
Bye.
There we go.
Have a great Halloween.